This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
Welcome back, Jonathan Clark. We're in the studio with the National. The entire band is here. Welcome, guys. What's happening?
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
I'll tell you what's happening.
Hi.
This is happening right here. And it's I'm Easy to Find, the new album from the National. It's
Whoa. That's sideways. You're holding that up sideways.
So is that Alicia on the cover?
That is Alicia with
Oh,
a
it
candor.
is?
Yeah. And on the back.
So this is great. You know what you can do with these double albums, right? Back in the day,
What?
you can clean weed with them.
You did that?
Wow.
What do you mean clean weed?
Well, you take the weed and you clean it. You take all the seeds out.
Like a funnel.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you pour it in.
Then
Yeah.
you shake it out, and then, don't you remember the Cheech and Chong album, Big Bamboo? They had a big rolling paper in it.
They did?
Oh, yeah. Dude, you got to get that, man. No, seriously, the whole album was like a Big Bamboo rolling
I
paper.
have started. The truth is, I only had a few years where I bought albums until it switched to tapes. So, like, I didn't have a big vinyl collection. I've started buying albums and it's really fun because it's you. I sit there in the backyard and
Cleaning the weeds.
smoke a lot of weed and it's a fun way to listen to album, the deep dive like that with a vinyl and stuff. So
But Google that, Cheech and Chong, Big
I will.
Bamboo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B-A-M-B-U?
It's Big Bamboo, like rolling paper. There was a rolling paper company.
B-A-M-B-U?
Yeah, B-A-M-B-U. Yeah, big.
All right.
I mean, it'll show up right away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's
We're
talk
gonna
about this new
recreate
album.
That scene backstage.
Yeah. Hey.
What is the liner notes made out of an art record? Is it made out of just regular paper?
It is made out of.
Here are the liner
So
notes.
you couldn't
lightweight.
smoke that at all?
Here are the liner notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Don't smoke our liner notes,
No.
but
We're not promoting anything, by the way.
Nope.
We're not. We're just,
Observing.
we're talking about the new album.
we're promoting reading.
Yeah, exactly. And listening. We're talking about the new album, I Am Easy to Find, from the National. They're playing Prospect Park in Brooklyn, June 12th and 13th. On tour around the world, all the tour dates, AmericanMary.com. I saw the Beacon show. You screened the film of the same name by Mike Mills. And how many times have you heard this? Not Mike Mills from R.E.M.
We have heard that a lot, and yeah, we know both of those guys,
Yeah.
and we're fans of both of those guys. And so, Mike Mills actually responded to something about how he was a big.
I heard
fan
there's a
of-
Twitter thing going
yeah,
on.
something.
Oh,
About,
nice.
Yeah,
I interacted with Mike Mills from R.E.M. about it.
Uh-huh.
Mike said next because he was like it's not. Everybody keeps saying great job, Mike, and he's like it's not me, and I was like next album.
you.
Next album, buddy. There was actually one of the verses in one of the songs that Mike Mills from the director Mike Mills cut out of the song was a line about Mike Mills from R.E.M. There's a bunch of R.E.M. references. So Mike Mills, the director, cut Mike Mills, the bass player.
So he's on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, so it's on between
Wow, it
those
is
two
on.
guys.
they
Mills
both play
versus
bass.
Mills.
You got a beef going on.
There's a Mills beef.
But
Is
ma-
it really that Mike Mills? I thought it was our Mike Mills, film director. No, but
There was a line also, and I say the other Mike Mills, and then and his wife. I also mentioned Miranda July, and that's why he cut it. That's why he cut the line because it
Meanwhile, you toured with them.
was more about his wife.
Was that like the last tour that R.E.M.
Yeah,
did
that
when you
was-
guys
Yeah, we
played
took
with them?
Accelerate.
That
yeah.
wasn't their last tour,
Yes,
was it?
It was
was.
the last R.E.M. tour, and Michael Stipe, who was very supportive of us, he told us either you need no hits or lots of hits. So we stayed in the no hits.
We were we were already deep in the no hits.
Yeah.
We stayed
Sure.
with
Stick with that.
non-hits, although we have
Till
some
now.
till now.
What's the hit now?
Right.
Sorry, guys. I don't think there is.
I don't know.
one.
That's up to you guys.
That's
Well,
up to-
hey, man.
You tell us.
You had your soul with
The
you. I've been banging
pressure's
the
on
crap
you
out of that one.
guys.
Okay. Well, then
Okay.
hopefully you had your soul with you. If not, there'll be another one.
I think.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can write some songs. Come on now. I saw the film at the beginning of the show at the Beacon Theater of the same name. It's a really cool film. And what I'm gathering is after watching it and sort of reading more about it and researching it, it's really a look at a woman's life from birth to death, pretty much, right?
It's a
Any woman's life, maybe, right?
Yeah, I mean it is a woman, and it embodied by Alicia Vikander, and she without any dialogue and with very little dialogue and really not much of a plot or a like a screenplay or anything like that, but it was a script. It was a collection of images and just phrases that Mike put together. I think there's 160 something little moments, and some of them have little subtitles, and they're all kind of slammed together. And you're observing these like quick snapshots of a life, and it was a way to tell how abstract it is, an identity, a person, what it is to be here and then not be here, and what happens to you along the way, and how you're a sponge for everything, and then you're you soak everything up first, and then later in your life it starts to come back out and feed other sponges, your children, and those So it was this whole deep dive into what we are, what we do while we're here, in this brief moment.
It's like what, 20 something minutes long. It's
25 minutes long.
25 minutes, yeah.
And there's no story, but there's a lot. There's a big life kind of told, and it was beautiful. It was really powerful.
Man, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I teared up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely emotional. And you can watch that film right now at IamEasyToFind.com and on YouTube. And this started with you sending some music to Mike, maybe to do a video or something back in the day?
Mike wrote to us right after Sleep Well Beast, our last record, came out, and about maybe doing a video for that record, because he had just finished 20th Century Women and did not want to work on a big Hollywood project right away again. And he wrote to us, and we were all huge fans of his movies. We watched his movies on the buses, and we just and so we jumped at the opportunity to work with him, and then also just gave him everything that we had that we thought was kind of that we liked but didn't know what to do with, and like 15 songs. And then he took those, like 7 of those, and started crafting this idea, and he tore the songs all apart and put together this film that we then saw pieces of and started writing more to, and it went back and forth, and like half the record was written in response to his film, sort of.
Yeah, and now he's like the 6th Beatle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like the 6th member of the National.
Yeah, he's gone. I mean, I think he's sort of like I don't know what kind of a presence. He's like a therapy presence and an art therapist.
Yeah, he's just a very optimistic, hopeful, great artist, and he's really likes our band. So he kind of has like a good effect on everyone.
Who was the Beatles guy?
Well, that was the Beatles.
George Martin.
The drummer, right? Or is George Martin the 6th Beatle?
I think George
Martin would be
sorry,
5,
5th
maybe,
Beatle.
right?
Well, no, we're not about Sutcliffe. He's not our Sutcliffe.
No. Stu Sutcliffe. Yeah.
That'd be Jeff Salem's our Stuart Sutcliffe.
Right. Neil Aspinall.
Yeah.
One of these guys, 6, 7, something like that.
Maybe he's like I don't know how Radiohead works, but he's kind of like maybe our Nigel Godrich or something like that. I mean, he's like, I don't know. He's kind of like I would love to work with him again on another whatever.
Well, I read he's like, I don't know shit about music, but
he does. He was saying he knows a lot about
But it
music.
was like visually like sort of co-producing this album, sort of, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he and Aaron really like crafted it all, but we kind of let him sort of direct the album, I guess.
Yeah. Now, a lot more so with this album, there are a lot of contributions from outside the core 5 here, lyrically, vocally. Sharon Van Etten, the Brooklyn Youth Chorus, who were amazing at the Beacon Theater. Lisa Hannigan, Mina Tyndall, and some other bands. Some of the band's wives are on the album too. Some lyrical contributions, right?
That my wife Corinne Besser, who's been writing bits and pieces of national songs since Boxer. In fact, the song Karen on Alligator was written about her specifically, and so she's been influencing the national songs since Alligator. And so but this one she wrote a lot more lyrics than any of the other ones. A lot of it because of Mike brought her in, a lot of it because the film and the project just made more room for her, and it called for that. It called like what Mike was doing, and then it was obvious that we needed more voices, and Bryce and Aaron just reached out to everybody we know and people we didn't even know yet to do the voices. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we've for a long time the band has been sort of open door, and I think with this record, we've never been a band that is closed off. So even going back 15 years, or even the very first records, there were always friends helping us, and now we just kind of like took the door off completely.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
And but so you hear, I think when we all saw the film, in the first version of the film, the songs had Matt's voice. It was the story of this woman's life. And I think we just were curious, like, what if it was a community of voices, or there was different kinds of voices, old and young, female and male. And Bryce did a session in Paris with his wife, Pauline Delassu, whose artist name is Mina Tyndall, and then Kate Stables, who has a band called This Is the Kit, and a bunch of other friends. And a bunch of the songs just kind of felt, wow, like they really felt. Oblivions was one of them, and Easy to Find was another. And then I recorded Lisa Hannigan in Berlin, and Evo, and who's a young singer from London, and Gail and Dorsey, who's David Bowie's bass player.
She's
for 30
great.
years.
Wow,
she
really.
lives near it.
And when she kicks in on that song, it's like the air changes, man. It's so cool. And a lot of strings on this album. And I follow Pete Townsend on Instagram. He just got on Instagram. I was very happy about it. He's Jagger Dang. Go figure. I don't know what that means, but he's like on tour with the Who, right?
Have you seen Iggy Pop's Instagram with him and his cockatoo? It's
oh no, yeah, I've seen clips of that.
It's such a
hilarious.
It's a work of great high art.
So Pete Townsend just posted like a week ago on tour with the Who, 24-piece orchestra. Man, it's loud. So what's it like playing with strings on stage and in the studio? It's got to be fun, right?
Yeah, for years we've had strings on records, and again, Mike Mills, in working in the film, he really foregrounded the string arrangements, and kind of like it was an arrangement at the end of Quiet Light, which I had done as part of the last, that was a leftover from Sleep Well Beast, and so he did that, and then really was pushing me to do more. So the whole there's big 25-piece string orchestra on every song except for Hairpin Turns has no strings.
Yeah,
it's good synth though.
Oh, really cool.
No, it's fun. It's fun for us to do.
I have to ask you guys, what was it like to play the song Sorrow for 6 hours? Did you really play it for 6 hours?
We did.
Yeah.
6 hours.
Surprisingly, it didn't seem that long. You know what I mean?
I thought it did. Yeah, no, it was. Ragnar Kjartansson came up with the idea, and we agreed to it, and because he's really a genius and really funny and really interesting the way he takes live performance and makes these sort of irreverent, silly but really emotionally strange installations, and then so we're like, yeah, we'll do whatever, and so he would just put us up in the Guggenheim MoMA, the Dome in Brooklyn or Queens, and we played in that song. He would listen to it for hours at a time, he said, and he would get obsessed with listening to it in this sort of like repetitive way for while he was working or doing whatever. He's a unique man, and he just thought it'd be fun to make everyone experience that, and especially us. And so but live, and we just thought it'd be interesting, and it was 6 hours. It was tedious after a while, but we went through these phases of locking in and falling apart and kind of getting emotionally or just fatigue. It was cool. Don't want to do it again now.
Which I will now segue into the Grateful Dead question that I have. Did I ask you guys about your feelings about Dead and Company and John Mayer yet? Did I ask you guys that?
I'm going to turn the floor over to Brian Devendorf.
Brian, can I quote Brian saying, like, he sizzles, he rips. Brian, you were impressed to no end with John Mayer's guitar.
Let me just say,
guitar
let me just
riffage.
put it this way.
Put it this way.
I know there's some haters out there, but
I'm not one of them.
He's just
FYI,
awesome.
but-
Just the fact that they can still do it, period, together in any way, shape, or form is amazing. And
Don't you think he kicked them in the ass? I mean, like,
I think so. I think
it's
it's a two-way street.
Three squeaks for John Mayer.
Yeah, let's hear that.
And another one.
Scott just had a custom T-shirt made across the street at Rag and Bone.
Oh yeah, look at
this
this.
close up on
Tribute to you.
Jerry's face.
Oh,
Jerry.
man.
Little Jerry.
Fantastic.
Yeah, R.I.P.
You can go.
Three for Jer.
So
Go on
2
this.
years ago, you guys, I guess it was 2 years ago, you won the Grammy for Best Alternative Music Album for Sleep Well Beast. Yes. Now, that was in New York for the first time the Grammys, like, in forever. Were you guys there for that? Were you guys
We
there?
thought it was in L.A. And so
No, come on.
and Scott was like, I'm not going. I
don't
hate
know.
the Grammys. And we're like, dude, you should come. And we were all in L.A. and we got our tuxedos. And then we see Scott on television. We're like, what the?
Wait, we're in the wrong. Yeah, I went to the Grammys by myself. No, with my wife Liz and Brandon and
Gave
Sean.
a very beautiful speech.
Give
You
a
gave a
little
really
speech.
heartfelt, sincere speech.
On your behalf, and yeah, it was really fun.
Well, was there a celebrity, like, awarding this Grammy to you? Or
Lisa
rock star?
Loeb.
Oh, I remember I was right in between Lisa Loeb and Mastodon, so I thought it was a very perfect place to
you
be.
can't get better than that.
Yeah, and I saw it.
Mastodon? Are you kidding? They shred.
They do
awesome.
well. They're and they were given a Grammy for it. So it
4
was,
streaks for Mastodon. John Mayer just joined Mastodon,
Oh,
and
my
now
God.
they
What?
triple shred.
He's working too much. Clearly, he's working too much. Triple
That
shred.
tune
Wow.
was
No,
but
so
back
good.
to
Touring with
back
the
to
Dead
John
is
Mayer.
called Mastodon.
I did have a moment.
Wrap up the John
I
Mayer
was
topic.
I was
Master
seeing
Dead.
Dead and Co. at Riverbend Amphitheater in Cincinnati. I didn't know what to expect.
That
But
was a mild
Did you
second
want to
half.
hate it? Did you want to hate it?
yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah. But I was watching Side Stage in Bob's World.
We all wanted him to hate it.
And I said, I'll go down front. And I catch this insane China Rider where he was able to take the sort of, source material and make it his own. Because, there's like a very famous transition between the two songs.
Of course, yeah.
Are you saying he owned it?
Yeah.
And it's pretty hard to do that, I think, in an honest way. It was amazing. Hats
And-
off.
Hats off.
hats off to Mayer.
We're with the National. Everyone go out and get the new album, I Am Easy to Find. Go see the movie of the same name, IamEasyToFind.com. It's also on YouTube. They're going to be at Prospect Park, sort of a homecoming show, I guess, in Brooklyn, June 12th and 13th. Guys, congratulations on another fantastic album, and I wish you the best. Please come back anytime. We can talk about the Dead. We can talk about John Mayer. Whatever you want to talk
Well,
about.
they got a new thing going out. It's got Master Dead. They're touring together.
Master Dead.
And it's
Wait, I know who's
sizzles.
opening.
Oh,
It
Greta Van
rips.
Zeppelin.
oh yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.